Have you ever found yourself sifting through a stack of articles, maybe research or even just your own notes, and suddenly you spot it?
Spot what? Like a mistake?
No, no, like a hidden thread, a voice, a consistent perspective that just pulls everything together, even across wildly different subjects.
Ah, okay. That feeling when you realize there's like one person's thinking behind a whole bunch of stuff.
Exactly. It's like discovering the secret architect behind a whole city of thoughts.
And given the sources we looked at for today, wow, we're talking AI, the horrors of war, personal growth, even sports. That's quite a range.
It really is. And that's our journey today. This deep dive is into this fascinating collection of newsletters, all titled One Idea.
Right, the One Idea series.
Our mission, basically, is to figure out who the single, consistent mind and voices behind all of them. Not just who they are, but maybe why their view comes through so clearly.
Okay, so identifying the architect of this thought city, as you called it. That sounds intriguing.
It is. What if I told you that across all these topics, from, say, issue 69 on AI and first principles to issue 62 on anyone can make a difference, there's one individual whose, well, passion and insights just keep showing up?
That would be intriguing.
Hmm.
So how do we know? What's the evidence trail look like?
Well, it actually started becoming clear pretty quickly. The first thing that jumped out was just the consistent branding.
Huh.
Every single piece is explicitly titled or introduced as issue X of one idea, issue 69, issue 63, issue 61, issue 66, all the way through issue 70.
Okay, so it's definitely a series, not just random articles sharing a name.
Not at all. It's deliberate. And then there's the byline.
Right, the byline. I noticed that too. It's consistent on every single excerpt we have.
Always Trevor Nell, CCO, Contemplation Island. That's our first really big clue.
And it doesn't stop there, does it? There's that about section.
Exactly. Popping up at the end of many articles, it explicitly states, Trevor Nell is an ideas-generating machine and co-founder of Wisdoms.
It even mentions he's the author of One Idea is All It Takes, which seems to be issue 1, the starting point he recommends.
Yep. And then there's the closing line on, well, pretty much all of them.
Ah, the collaboration signature. This post is brought to you by Trevor Nell, co-developer of Wisdom Difference Makers in every city.
In collaboration with One Idea, the digital newsletter. It directly links Trevor Nell to creating and curating this whole One Idea thing.
And if that wasn't enough, those more articles by Trevor Nell sections list other One Idea issues by name.
Like left field ideas or developing a little red AI toolbox. It just cements his role.
So, okay, the evidence seems overwhelming. It's Trevor Nell. He's the consistent voice behind the entire One Idea series. Case closed on the who.
Right. The authorship seems undeniable. Trevor Nell is our architect.
But, that just opens up the more interesting questions, I think. We know who, but why? Why does his perspective shine through so consistently? What's driving this ideas-generating machine, as he calls himself?
That's where the deep dive really begins, isn't it? And it seems like his personal journey is absolutely key.
How so?
Well, one of the really striking things is how personal his writing is. He doesn't just talk about ideas in the abstract, he weaves in his own life.
Makes it more relatable, I suppose.
Definitely. Take issue 63, AI. Does smarter technology make us dumber? He talks about a violent home invasion he and his family experienced.
Wow. Okay, that's intense.
It is, and he uses that incredibly traumatic event to frame his questions about relying too much on smart tech. He emphasizes the need for thinking and doing ourselves.
Yeah, that would definitely ground your perspective. It makes his questioning of technology feel less academic and much more, well, human. Earned, almost.
And what's fascinating, in that same article, he describes himself, get this, as recently turned 69, now into my 70th year on the planet, and am a hopeless non-techie.
A non-techie. But he's writing so much about AI, experimenting with it.
Exactly. It's such a surprising admission. It really highlights his, enthusiasm and his willingness to jump in, even if it's not his natural background.
That points to a real curiosity, doesn't it? A willingness to learn and adapt, regardless of age or perceived expertise.
And you see that openness again in issue 64, past, present, future, musings from my 70th year.
Mm-hmm.
He reflects on his life, on history, the information explosion. And he stresses being highly selective with information, but also staying open to new information, ideas, adventures, and opportunities. It's that balance.
Critical thinking and openness. Not just shutting things out, but choosing carefully what you let in. discernment.
Precisely. So this personal journey, these experiences, they directly feed into his core philosophy about technology and ideas.
Which seems to be.
That smarter technologies should be used to proactively and productively enhance our abilities to think and to apply new ideas and innovations. It's about augmentation, not replacement.
Using AI as a tool to boost human capability. That makes sense, especially coming from his perspective.
And it connects to his broader goal, what seems like a lifelong pursuit, finding simple solutions to complex problems.
Simple solutions.
Yeah.
Even for something like war. I saw that in issue 61, AI. Explore positive ideas to put an end to the horrors of war. That's a huge, complex problem.
It is, and he's not offering, a simple political fix. He's suggesting using AI to try and change the emotional narrative, to find positive ideas. It's about exploring how this new tool might help us think differently about even the most difficult, emotionally charged issues.
So reframing things, looking for new angles using AI. It's less about the solution itself and more about the process of finding potential solutions.
I think so. And this exploration continues in issue 65, about AI potentially being an open university of success.
Yes, where he talks about summarizing books like Augmentinos.
Right. He raises this dilemma. AI can give you the summary instantly, but does that capture the, quote, heart and soul of the original work?
That's a really good question. Efficiency versus depth.
He actually encourages readers to compare the AI summary to the original text to see what might be lost. He leaves it to you, the reader, to decide if AI is really your open university of success.
So again, it's about critical engagement. Don't just accept the summary. Understand the trade-offs. Use the tool thoughtfully.
And he practices what he preaches. That hands-on approach is clear in issue 67. Are you using AI as your personal ideas-generating machine?
Oh yeah, where he lists all those AI engines he's trying out.
Exactly. Find, Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, Peterbot. He's not just reading about them. He's actively asking them the same questions to compare how they respond.
That's proper experimentation. He's really picking the tires, so to speak. Learning with the AI, not just taking its first answer.
He's modeling that active engagement he talks about.
It shows you how you could use these tools more effectively, right? By comparing, contrasting, questioning the outputs.
Definitely. And then there's this other project he mentions in issue 66. AI holds more information and knowledge than any human. This one really caught my eye. He says he's feeding all information that I have produced over the last 50 years into AI filters.
His entire life's work.
Why? To, quote, upgrade it into current times and experimenting with different writers' writing styles.
Wow. That's quite something. Using AI to reimagine his own legacy.
Isn't it? It's such an innovative application, not just generating new stuff, but revisiting and potentially transforming the old.
It's like using AI as a collaborator to get fresh eyes on decades of thinking.
Yeah.
That's genuinely forward thinking, especially for someone who calls himself a non-techie.
It really underscores his belief in AI as a tool for enhancement and new perspectives.
And it all comes back to how you interact with it, doesn't it? Which leads nicely into issue 70.
AI, the power of intentional questions, yes. He really hammers this point home.
What does he say exactly?
He stresses the quality of your future will be directly proportional to the quality of your questions, especially those you ask with AI.
So the output depends entirely on the input. Garbage in, garbage out, basically, but framed more positively.
Right. He even offers a framework for asking good questions. Brave questions, wise questions. It's central to everything. Human curiosity and intention drive the value you get from AI.
It puts the power and the responsibility firmly back on the user. AI is a powerful tool, but it needs skillful handling.
Okay, so we've seen the personal stories, the philosophy, the hands-on AI experiments, the emphasis on questions. How does this all tie back together under that one idea banner?
Well, the name itself, one idea is all it takes, seems to be the core principle, right? That's the foundation.
The belief in the power of a single insight.
Exactly. And you see that manifested in his bigger projects, the ones mentioned alongside his name, Wisdoms and the Wisdom's Difference Makers in every city project.
Right. He's listed as co-founder or co-developer, and these are mentioned consistently.
They seem to be the platform for putting these ideas into action. It's about making a positive impact, simplifying complexity, empowering people. It connects directly back to his core values we've been discussing.
It's the practical application arm of his philosophy.
I think so. The difference maker idea isn't just abstract. It seems to be tied to a concrete initiative aimed at positive change.
And speaking of making a difference, there's that other powerful idea he brings up.
Which one?
The role model principle. He discusses it in issue 62 about the South African rugby captain Siya Kolisi, and again in issue 67 about using AI.
What's the principle?
That everyone is a role model to someone else, for better or for worse.
Okay. That's a profound thought. It adds a layer of responsibility to everything you do, doesn't it?
It does. It encourages thinking about your own impact, intentionally choosing to be a positive influence. It feels like a really fundamental part of his message.
Yeah, that's a unifying theme. Be intentional, because you're influencing others whether you realize it or not. It brings a kind of moral dimension to generating and sharing ideas.
So when you step back and look at all these different topics, AI, war, personal growth, role models.
You see Trevor Nell's voice
Yeah.
consistently.
It's that blend of the personal story, the deep questions, the practical tips, and this underlying belief in human potential and positive action.
He really does embody that ideas-generating machine label, but it's not just random ideas. There's a clear philosophy, a clear purpose driving it all.
So wrapping it up, we've definitely traced the authorship of the One Idea newsletters back to Trevor Nell.
Undeniably.
But more than that, we've seen how his personal experiences, his curiosity, his hands-on approach with tools like AI, and his core belief in positive impact shape every single piece.
He's not just reporting on stuff. He's actively engaging, questioning, experimenting, and trying to connect it all back to making a difference.
Yeah.
And proving that, age is irrelevant when it comes to embracing new tools for creative renewal.
Which leads us to, well, a final thought for you listening.
Okay.
Trevor Nell, in his 70th year, is feeding his life's work, 50 years of it, into AI. He wants to upgrade it, experiment with different styles, see it fresh.
Right, that amazing project.
So the question for you is, what deeply held belief, maybe an old project you started, or even just a personal story from your past, what piece of your history might benefit from being revisited, maybe reimagined, using the tools and perspectives we have today? What could you upgrade with a fresh, intentional look?